right, welcome back. Bishop Amach is the national chairman of YPP. He's here with us in the studios. Good morning and thank you for coming on today.
The man Chamberlain, thank you so much.
Yeah, so...
Good morning, viewers.
This election and the inauguration of the president of Senegal, of course, causing a lot of introspection in the country at the moment in terms of where we are, how we progress, the continent as well. I know that political parties like yours may just be chomping at that, saying, okay, if this happened there, probably, who knows, anything can happen. And but above all else, how's your party looking at this?
You know, thank you. Our party has always been a party that stands on the vision of nation building, the vision that the people should be actually, you know, the owners, that they should take responsibility of ownership and usher in whatever thing they want to. That's what happened in Senegal. And I must say kudos to the people of Senegal. 3 things worked out for them: ownership spirit, resilience, and that spirit of patriotism.
But that wasn't all.
Sorry?
The continents. Because the former president, everybody was thinking he was going to take certain decisions, and they had to, external forces had to prevail on him and say, look, no, you can't afford to go.
It wasn't even just the external forces.
How does that play?
It wasn't just the external forces that prevailed. The people prevailed. They forced a president to reverse a decision, because that decision they knew was against their wish. That's why I said they stood and said, this is our country. We can't allow, even when maybe I think lives were lost, people went on the streets, and the government, that's why I say, when the people speak, there's no any group of only a small settings of people that think that they can be that powerful than, you know, the voice of the people. And if Senegal can actually set this kind of pace, I admire Senegal a lot. Frankly speaking, I think in this sub-Sahara region, they are taking the lead in terms of democratic stability. And for me, I do not see the reason why here in Nigeria we continue to answer the giants of Africa. But the people are not willing to take this painstaking decision that will liberate them, to give them political liberation and economic liberation.
You know, when you speak about this, I mean, I've heard you say too about some persons in your party who won elections on the ticket of your party and then moved elsewhere. So if you're having a challenge, trying to rein them in at that level, you know it's not that easy to say when the people speak.
Oh, when that you're talking about, so look.
It's about the process.
The process. Who are the people that go to make this choice? Is it not the electorate? If the electorate make their decision, it's left for you. Now, after the decision, if you win an election, and the problem also is, the truth of the matter is that here in this climate, especially the ruling parties, they want to take it all. They want to take it all. And so they will go into some other parties who are doing well and see how they will go and destabilize those parties and ensure that they bring those forces in these other political parties that they see them to be like a threat to them. They try to poach in on them and ask them, come back to our party. And look, you see, in politics, even in this, your channel TV, there are some people who have worked here. Today they are working in Arise TV. They have gone to other places. Life is about place of choice. Okay? But when we're talking about the system, a working system, I think the people have a role to play. Let them begin to ask those leaders that they go select them or elect them into offices. If they are not performing, they have the right to call them, or even, you know, stage a protest, a peaceful protest, and ask why we need accountability.
What about those who say a lot of these challenges, the political parties have a huge chunk of this challenge because in the first instance, while the electorate waits and see if they will give us the best of the candidates among themselves, the political parties, they can't even sort out their internal democracy. So, and then they want the people to come in and perform, and because they will always choose from those who the parties are presented.
The reason why I think one of these things, a lot of people, actually make reference to all these things, all these shenanigans, is because people are already comfortable with one particular system that they have been choosing all along. These things happen. How many political parties do you see these things happening? It is mostly the ruling parties or those in power. PDP, APC, basically.
No, but you just complained about IPAC not long ago, about political parties coming together.
No, the IPAC, but at the end of the day, we got it right in IPAC. Because at the end of the day, the same process that ushered in the other former chairman was the same process also that produced the present chairman now.
Do we need to revisit our system in terms of the political party system? I mean, do we continue with all this number of parties that we have? Because if the strong parties, as you say, are always going to poach from the smaller ones, that will continue. So what about having a strong union saying, no, we'll match you with whatever?
Then I think that's, like you say, yes, I agree that we should revisit. In fact, this has to do with constitutional issues. Where, in the Constitution, when the Constitution gives the right that people have the freedom of choice or freedom of participation in any way of their choice, I think Section 40 of the Constitution of Nigeria has given the right for people to, of places of choice where you want to participate. And I think this is the reason why we should revisit the Constitution again and make it a mandate that whenever you win election in any political party, you must, until that first tenure ends, you cannot move from that political party to another political party. So it's a constitutional thing. If they can strengthen the Constitution by doing so, but the reason why they allow that people know what they are doing, especially some of these guys. That's why I say when a system wants to work, the leadership, if they really want to work, and that's where the spirit of patriotism comes in. You want to serve the people. These are issues that, my brother, if we can take into consideration, put it into the Constitution that no matter what it is, if you win an election in any party, you cannot leave the party until you serve your first 4 years. Maybe after then you can leave. That now will become a norm. But a situation where there is some clause there that, until when you can leave the party if there is any crisis. Somebody can just decide to go and sponsor a crisis in the political party. And suddenly, a party that has no any problem, you just start hearing problems in the party. And some persons, on the basis of that, they can just decide to say, our party, is going through some crisis, and for that reason, look at what happened recently in Enugu State, So what they will cite, and they will continue to cite, is that there is crisis in the party. But if the Constitution empowers that once you win an election, you can, under that political party that sponsored you, you cannot leave that party until you finish your first tenure.
Let's talk a bit about your party, the Young Progressives Party. I mean, with Jeremiah Faye being 44 years old, it's brought the question about young people. It's a massive youth population. We're talking about political parties. We have about the same number of political parties as Senegal, 19.
Yes.
And they had just 7 million voters, but someone was able to win over 50% of the votes. When it comes to managing, the youth population, especially when it comes to your party, because your party stands out as the one that is the young people party. It's supposed to be. How have you been able to harness that population of young Nigerians to see your party as where they can stand behind the candidates that they believe in?
Thank you so much. I've been receiving these questions over and over time, several times. And thank God you're also in Nigeria and you have been around the political space. You know what happens here. Each time you try to reach out to people, the first question they ask you is, where is the money? Do you have some money that you can bring? Our party has sponsored candidates, even for free, in this country. Even the last general election, we have given people nomination form for free. Young people. Well, at the end of the day, a situation where you even have, among some of these young people, not believing in themselves, they will gather themselves and go to one big way, or these people they call political godfathers, and they will tell them, we don't have money, just give us some money. We will join your camp, we will collapse our structure. It's terrible, it's a terrible situation.
You're saying it's Nigerians that are the problem?
I must say this. To some extent, I think the electorate will have their problems. Why? Because if any electorate, somebody who will just subject to inducement, and you accept, in Senegal, you were there. Did you experience any sense of inducement? The people spoke, and nobody was ready to take any dime from anybody. After all, even the pasero or whatever was not ready to also give out anything. And why? Because the system is working. Maybe the security are there checking. We have a lot, honestly, that we are really battling with.
So as things stand now, the people cannot speak like that, so to speak.
Yeah.
I have not seen that kind of enthusiasm. I've not seen that kind of enthusiasm.
I mean, the people there also came under a lot of attack. The protests.
But they resisted.
Protests have been since last year.
Yes, they resisted. They resisted the protest. Even from the day the president announced some of these their gimmicks they wanted to play with the intelligence of the people. Yes, the people resisted. But in this climate, when the people take some decision, and maybe when the government just intimidate them or whatever, they go back to sit. So what I'm saying is, I've not seen that kind of enthusiasm, that spirit of resilience. That's why I said what worked for them in Senegal. There is this spirit of resilience. They also believe, look, we need to take our country back. The ownership spirit also was fully, expressed. And not only that, patriotism also came to play.
So does it then mean that no matter the kind of reforms we have with the electoral system, if patriotism, the zeal of the people, if those key factors are not in the mix, all of these reforms will amount to nothing?
Yes, because already, the issue here is that even the people themselves, they are comfortable with the rhetorics of this, sentiment of tribe, religion, and ethnicity. They are already okay with it. I'm telling you, you will see, it's everywhere. It's both in the south and the north. There's no one particular, even in the south. It happened, it played out in the last election. The north will tell you, I'll vote for my own brother north. The southerner will tell you, I'll vote for my own brother southerner.
How do we get this spirit of patriotism back into the Nigerian? Because there was a time we had it.
Yes.
How do we get that back?
We have to invest so much in what I would call this social reorientation, citizen reorientation programs, where and that's why the NOE is missing it. Nigerian Orientation Agency, I don't know what they call them. They are missing. I've not seen. They've not been so active. A situation where we are not giving priority to our political or democratic stability. Okay? And that's the reason why we give room to these external forces to come and decide for us. We saw what played out in the 2015 general election. President Goodluck Jonathan, I stumbled into one of the videos, and I saw he complained what he experienced during the times of Obama. In Senegal, did that play out? Was there any external forces that compelled and say, or they had an interest that either the sitting president or somebody else will have to be the president? When the people, that's why I say the people have a lot to contribute. And because we are not displaying that spirit, the external forces will continue to take advantage of us.
So how would you say that all of these elements were still not present in the last general elections that we had? Were they there? To what extent? Did you see anything?
I think there was a little bit spark in the last election, the Obidient program. Let's give it to you. I'm not a Labour Party. I'm not an OB. Look, let me tell you, my own belief is that we should have a new thing in Nigeria. In fact, if you allow me, I'll tell you, anybody who was once a governor in this country should not even be given up. She should not come contesting for election to be a president of Nigeria.
Anybody who has been a governor?
Yes.
Why?
Because if you look at the performance index, what can you see they have really given to their people? Let's be real. Look, we all travel out of this country and we see development, modern development. Tell me one city in Nigeria today that you can compare with some of these countries. Just talk about South Africa here even, or even Kigali. Tell me, is it the borehole things that we'll continue to celebrate? Is it the some roads, kilometers of road that people do that will continue to celebrate? We're talking about job creation. We're talking about inflation. Every day, these are the fundamental issues that has been burning over the years. Since I was born, I'm 40 plus today. We are still hearing NEPA don't take light. NEPA don't bring light. That's why you hear some of our children say.
Maybe you should go to Abia, you won't hear it.
Well, congratulations to Abias. Congratulations to her, but it doesn't stop there. So what I'm trying to say, we need development. We need development where health centers, schools, our children will not be going to a Benin Republic or Ghana for studies.
So when you say there was a spark, what was that spark? How do you define that spark?
The Obidient movement was a spark. Because I think there was a conscientization at that time. Some of the young people actually woke up from their slumber and they decided that, look, we need to do something different, something new. And they believed. And the message the Obi was sending to them also was resonating with them, just like what Buhari did to the Talakawas in North.
Was it the one that was selling a message, or young people just thought, look, we needed to take back something, and then they looked for somebody who is closest to what they could identify with and latched onto that person? Was that not how it turned out?
Yes, that's what I'm saying. That the message Obi was sending to them, Obi was saying to them, Obi came with some kind of pedigree, what I would call the pedigree he was selling was that him is a man of accountability.
But he didn't fit into what you said before, because he's been a governor.
That's what I'm saying.
You said anyone who's been a governor should not be.
Yes.
But they thought otherwise.
That's what I'm saying. To them, it was between the red devil or how do you describe
between
that?
The devil and the deep blue sea.
Yes, between the devil and the deep sea. So they felt among the top 3 or 4 leading candidates, to them, Obi was the most preferable one. Because he was selling the narrative, telling them, look, go to Anambra, I left so amount of money. That's what some people want to hear. Go to Anambra, I left some money there. I don't travel. I don't have shishi to give. I don't do this. I don't do that. So, and some of those things were resonating with them.
I wish that spark came from your party, because your party is Young Progressives Party.
Yeah.
Who was your candidate in the last election?
We had Malik Ado Ibrahim.
Why wasn't that spark coming from your party?
Well, Malik...
I want to give you context to this question.
Yes.
Because you see, a lot of the criticism of parties like yours and youth movements in Nigeria is that you are not youth-centric. You're not really pushing the agenda of young people in this country. Many people believe that you're pushing personal interests, using the name young people. But then when it comes down to it, the young people cannot see your party and say, this is the party that I want to align myself with. Why wasn't your party the one to create that atmosphere for young people to say, oh, there's a young people party, let me go there? Instead, they went to Labour. At least that's what we're seeing from the figures. Why not your party?
That question should be reversed to the people, not me.
No, you will present something that they will buy.
What do you want us to present? Malik Ado Ibrahim was he not even younger than Peter Obi?
I don't think it was about age. You just said
no,
it was the pedigree.
You were mentioning the pedigree.
You said it was the pedigree that Peter Obi brought to the table, the type of individual that he was, his antecedents. I have this, I have that.
Yes.
Why didn't your party have somebody like that?
We had that in 2019. What did the people did in 2019 when we had a Mogalu, Kingsley Mogalu, who vied under the party? He brought the pedigree on the table. This was a man who has worked in the United Nations, who have went into broken nations, building broken nations, discussing about nation building. He has worked as the deputy governor in CBN, brought innovation into the banking sector. What didn't we sell to Nigerians in 2019? And at the end of the day, what was their choice? Was it not Buhari? So I'm telling you that even the electorate have their own problems. No matter how you push in Abia State, didn't we also produce to them a younger person in Abia, in the person of Nana? In fact, the running mate and the governor, they were all young people. Chima, Anyaso, and Nana. They were all young people. But they went for the OB because even it affected the Obidient. As I said, the electorate have a lot to contribute when it comes to choice making in election. People were voting, they don't even know who and who were the names. Some people didn't even campaign. But today they are in the House of Rep as parliamentarians or State House of Assembly. Are you going to also blame the parties, political parties on that? So it's about the people. Some didn't campaign. Some didn't do anything. But the fact that Obidient, OB was going on, and Labour, they just go collect the Labour. Where's Labour? They didn't even want to ask.
For the next elections, are you going to get yourself to where people can say, no, YPP, and be voting like that? Can you do that?
Well, it depends, and I can assure you, we're not sleeping. We have been putting our house together, trying to, also look for men and women of impeccable character that can bring a lot of values on the table. In every election that we have contested since the inception, since YPP came into establishment 2017, we have given Nigerians, 2019, we gave them Mogalu. Mogalu canvassed the whole nooks and crannies of this country. At the end of the day, they decided to vote the other way. This last election, what's his name? Malik Ado Ibrahim. This is a man who has a background, he's into the energy power industry. He has done a lot. He has spoken to the people. But at the end of the day, they made their choice. So the people are very comfortable with the turn-by-turn enterprise limited of Nigeria.
Are there any members of the YPP that are in governance on any level in this country?
No, we don't. We don't have any.
None in the House of Representatives.
When you say governance, anyway, government, you have two tiers of government. We have some persons in the House of Assembly, House of Rep. The senator we have is back to APC now. So, are you?
That's why you need that law.
That's why we need the law
to compel them to stay.
To compel them to stay, to make sure they finish their first tenure that the party who sponsored them, because some of them, where were they? If those parties actually wanted them, why didn't they give them the platform ab initio? Why did they give them the platform ab initio?
Other than that, what key thing do you want to see, probably with the amendments of the Electoral Act, which they say they are doing now, to see how that can, one, either improve the elections, the quality and process of elections, and then two, get a lot more people interested in participating in elections?
Yeah, I think, like I said before, I think we need to also, the electoral reform is eminent. We need to look back. The parliamentarians need to do a lot of work there. Number two, human factor in this. Like, for example, the last election, a lot of people were bashing the INEC chairman. Forgetting that the INEC chairman is one person that is sitting in Abuja trying to control. There are some field marshals that are somewhere, that are the real persons doing the job. The INEC chairman will just sit down in Abuja, controlling. Even when I experience it, even me as a national chairman of a political party, I know what I experienced in some of the components of our structures in states.
What did you experience?
Sometimes, when you give instruction, they do otherwise. And that otherwise, it will not come to your knowledge until the day, even when you try to make findings, you say, they will go and they will cover some things, they will tell you it's done well. Until the day it will be done on you, you will just see it like as if it's something like you call abracadabra. The more you look, the less you see. So the human factor is there. People, Nigerians, my dear, there is a lot of conscientization, orientation that need to be carried out. If we need a system to work, it is the responsibility of all of us. There must be a positive attitudinal change towards ensuring that we have a nation that works. It's the responsibility of all of us. All of us. It's a multi-stakeholder obligation of every citizen.
A good place to anchor, Bishop Amach, National Chairman of YPP. Thank you.
Let me also let you know, sorry, the truth of the matter is that the dynamics has changed. It's not going to be business as usual. 2027.
All right. We'll all be here. By the grace
the YPP will produce the next president of this country.
All right. Okay. Well, thank you all. Well, thank you all for watching. We'll see you next time. I'm Chamberlain, so goodbye.
Have a wonderful day ahead. I'm Kayla Magwa.